Hi, this is Glenda Cedarleaf, and I'm going to read you the story about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. In a far-off country, there was once a little girl who was called Goldilocks because her curly hair shone brightly. She was a sad romp and so restless that she could not be kept quiet at home. She needed to run out and away. One day she started off into a wood to gather wildflowers and into the fields to chase butterflies. She ran here and there and went so far at last that she found herself in a lonely place where she saw a snug little house in which three bears lived. But they were not then at home, and the door was ajar. And Goldilocks pushed it open and found the place to be quite empty. So she made up her mind to go in boldly and look all about the place, little thinking what sort of people lived there. Now the three bears had gone out to walk a little before this. They were the big bear and the middle-sized bear and the little bear. But they had left their porridge on the table to cool. So when Goldilocks came into the kitchen, she saw the 3 bowls of porridge. She tasted the largest bowl, which belonged to the big bear, and found it too cold. Then she tasted the middle-sized bowl, which belonged to the middle-sized bear, and found it too hot. Then she tasted the smallest bowl, which belonged to the little bear, and it was just right, and she ate it all. She went into the parlor, and there were 3 chairs. She tried the biggest chair, which belonged to the big bear, and found it too high. Then she tried the middle-sized chair, which belonged to the middle-sized bear, and she found it too broad. Then she tried the little chair, which belonged to the little bear, and found it just right. But she sat in it so hard that she broke it. Now Goldilocks by this time was very tired, and she went upstairs to the bedchamber, and there she found 3 beds. She tried the largest bed, which belonged to the big bear, and found it too soft. Then she tried the middle-sized bed, which belonged to the middle-sized bear, and she found it too hard. Then she tried the smallest bed, which belonged to the little bear, and found it just right. So she lay down upon it and fell fast asleep. While Goldilocks was lying fast asleep, the 3 bears came home from their walk. They came into the kitchen to get their porridge, but when the big bear went to his, he growled out, "Somebody's been tasting my porridge." And the middle-sized bear looked into his bowl and said, "Somebody's been tasting my porridge." And the little bear piped, "Somebody has tasted my porridge and eaten it all up." Then they went into the parlor, and the big bear growled, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." And the middle-sized bear said, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair." And the little bear piped, "Somebody's been sitting in my chair and broke it all to pieces." So they went upstairs into the bedchamber, and the big bear growled, "Somebody's been tumbling my bed." And the middle bear said, "Somebody's been tumbling my bed." And the little bear piped, "Somebody's been tumbling my bed, and here she is." At that, Goldilocks woke in a fright. But after the initial shock, as she continued to look up at those 3 bears looking down at her, for some reason she started to laugh. And when she did, the bears were no longer afraid, and they too began to laugh. Goldilocks explained that she meant no harm and apologized for coming into their home without permission. She apologized for eating their porridge, breaking their chair, and sleeping in their bed. The bears realized that she was not a threat, and they forgave her. Soon they were having so much fun, enjoying her company. They gathered outside in a circle, getting to know one another. When it was time to leave, Goldilocks excitedly invited them over to her house for Sunday dinner. And then they all shared in a nice, warm bear hug. And from then on, a very special friendship unfolded for Goldilocks and the bears. Goldilocks thanked them for helping her learn a lesson about being responsible and taking care of herself. From then on, when she went frolicking in the forest, she made sure to bring some food, to pay attention to where she was, and never to enter another house without permission. And the three bears figured out how to fix the broken chair, and the little bear was once again able to sit in it. And when he did, he smiled, thinking about his new friend Goldilocks and the unwanted home invasion that became an unexpected opportunity to birth a new friendship. And they lived happily ever after. And that's the end of the story.